Okay, this is video 2 in creating a dynamic workbook index in Excel. If you recall back to video 1, we automated the creation of this sheet list and updating it. Now I had moved it to the very back of the tabs, but for ease of demonstration I moved it back up to number 2. So we have this index tab. Now what I want to do is just make it easy to update this. So the way I do that, what I would recommend is I use a button. So I say insert, and because I'm looking at a smaller screen, illustrations, shapes, and I like this one right here. So I just, somewhere on this sheet on my index page, I create my button, add my text. I like this bolded, centered vertically and horizontally. And then the last thing I do is I assign a macro to this. And the macro that I want to assign, recall we had put these in our first video, I want the update list sheet names. Click OK, and I now have an updated macro button that will run when I click on it. So let's just add a sheet. So I added sheet 1. Let's change it to this is a test. Okay, come back to my index tab. Now let's run this. It's done. Go back to my sheet list. This is a test is now in my sheet list. So this table needs to be easily updated, and we just did that by adding this button. Last thing I would cover on the button is formatting properties. So I go into size and properties. I don't want it to move or size, and typically I would not want this to print. Not that I'm going to be printing this, so I turn that off. So anything I do over here isn't going to affect the positioning and printing of this object, which is what I want. So now I have a button that automatically updates. Save your file. And that was a quick overview of creating a button and assigning a macro so that I can easily update my sheet list as I make changes. The last thing, I'm going to come back in here. I'm going to delete that tab, come back over to my index, update the sheet list. It's now gone. So in the next video, we're going to use Power Query to generate the list that's going to go on my index page. See you next video.